How's it going, everybody? I'm meteorologist Joey Cardenas back with your daily forecast. Today we have a good chance for some severe storms all up and down the Front Range, all the way in North Dakota from the Canadian border, all the way down in Texas to the Mexican border. So a good stretch of severe weather today that we could see. And then we could also see some good storms out in the southeastern U.S., kind of by that Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia area looks to be where the strongest severe risk is for later on this afternoon. And then severe risks are slowing down a little bit as we get into the beginning of June here, but we still are going to see those daily severe thunderstorm risks for most of the country all throughout this week. They are going to be lower end, but we're still going to be seeing those severe chances pretty much daily for a good time here until we get our next kind of surge coming in. And then around the country we have this long stationary front stretching all the way from the East Coast all the way to New Mexico there. This is kind of where storms are going to be firing off, especially out in the southeast. We're going to get some storms down in Texas forming off this as well. And then we have a warm front, cold front combo coming through up around the Black Hills area that'll fire off some severe storms later on this afternoon as well. So chances are looking pretty good for hail in those areas later on today. Zooming in a little bit closer to the Black Hills area, see some early morning convection kind of just firing off now, some clouds starting to clear out around the Rapid City area. We'll get enough time to get some good surface heating after those clouds clear out. As we get around the 3-4 p.m. time frame, things look like they could be ripening up for some severe storm chances later on. And then down south along that stationary front, you can see some just light convection going on. See this nice swirling low pressure system right around the Panhandle region. This will kind of push off a little bit to the east later on this afternoon and trigger some more severe storms popping up. So we have a very broad area that we could see severe weather today. Lower end, like I said earlier, but still a fairly decent chance for some severe weather today. We have this nice trough in the northern U.S. that's going to fuel those or provide lift to those storms up around the Black Hills. Not too much forcing going on down south along that stationary front there, but we do have some forcing, good forcing going on down in the southeast, along with some very good heating down there as well. So those are the areas that we're keeping an eye on for today. If we look at our high resolution model here up around the Black Hills, you'll see some storms starting to pop off around that 1 to 2 p.m. time frame. These are going to be weak initially, but there is enough surface heating and upper level instability to provide some good fuel for those storms. As long as they stay isolated, we could get some pretty good hail out of these storms as well, especially the ones that form along the edge of the Black Hills there. And then we could see some decent cells popping up in Wyoming as well, weakening as they move east, but they could see a little bit of a resurgence as they hit the Black Hills and get a little bit of extra lift moving over them before dying out and lining out again as we go later on into the evening hours. So that's what we have for the upper Midwest for today. And then in the southeast, looking over the next few hours here, see some storms starting to fire off around the Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina area around that 2 to 3 p.m. time frame. That's when things are just going to start kicking off. These storms are going to be a little messier, more disorganized, but they could still reach that severe level if they get going in the right area. But those storms are kind of going to linger along that stationary front, and right along the coast is where they'll be the strongest. It looks like around that 5 to 6 p.m. time frame before weakening considerably going into the overnight hours. So that's what we're seeing down in the southeast. Not much of a severe threat going into tomorrow morning. And then for the Colorado Front Range going down south into New Mexico and Texas, here's what we got going into this afternoon, seeing some convection firing up just a little bit more going into that 3-4 p.m. time frame. These storms are going to kind of just linger and rotate around a pretty similar area for most of the day today and into the overnight hours. We could get this little mesoscale convective system moving off to the southeast as those storms kind of line out and lose a lot of their upper level support. And then things will get a little bit more disorganized and messy. We could see some showers and thunder showers in the central Oklahoma area, down in central Texas as well, but expecting things to stay sub-severe for the most part going into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. For the hail map today, here's what we got starting up north in the Midwest here around the Black Hills. See some fairly large risk. Like I said, that risk area extends all the way up into Canada today. And then Rapid City, kind of the bullseye city for today for that hail risk. If we get storms around the Black Hills, I don't particularly expect them to hit Rapid City, but we could still see a stray thunderstorm or two roll on through Rapid City, depending on the direction of that wind at the time. Rapid City might end up in the rain shadow for today. Denver right on the edge of that severe risk for severe hail for today. But as the last few days have shown, whenever Denver has been near the risk area, usually we've gotten some severe storms to fire up along the Front Range and impacting somewhere along that Front Range corridor there. So moving a little bit farther south, Lubbock and Midland in the larger risk for today. We could see some hail larger than golf balls today, but golf balls is kind of where that average maximum size is going to be with these storms. We might get up to 2 inches, 2.5 inches, possibly with some of these more isolated storms, especially farther down south. But golf balls is kind of where we're expecting things to stay for today. And then Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina, the main big cities that are at the largest risk for today. We could see maybe Tallahassee sneaks in some hail later on today. But that's kind of the main area that we're expecting for hail in the southeast for today. Going into tomorrow, following this line of storms that's moving out of the Dakotas overnight and into Minnesota, Wisconsin, in the morning, we could see some severe storms pop up behind this line in the late afternoon, early evening hours. We could see some storms forming south of Minneapolis, north of Des Moines, in that area along the I-35 corridor there. And then those will continue to push off to the east into the overnight hours. A fairly low-end risk for tomorrow up north, but we are still watching that potential for some severe hail for tomorrow. And then there is also another small risk down south here, stretching all the way up into the Front Range, down into central Texas. We could see some more lingering storms. I don't know why my graphic is going so fast there, but that's kind of what we're expecting, some severe storms to possibly pop up along the Front Range, and down in central Texas we could see some isolated severe thunderstorms. And then for our jet stream here, see this nice little trough moving through the upper Midwest. That's going to give that forcing, like I said, for those storms up there. And then we have a good trough off to the east, providing enough lift for those storms down in the southeast for today. And like I said, there's not a whole lot of forcing down for the Front Range and in central Texas, but the conditions are still there just to get a little bit of lift for some more disorganized severe thunderstorms later on this afternoon and evening. And then the jet stream kind of just stays off to the north for the remainder of the week. We could see a little trough move through Saturday, Sunday sometime. But really the next main system that we're watching doesn't really move onshore until like Tuesday or Wednesday. That's kind of when we're expecting that to move onshore, but not really making it out into the Central Plains. Probably by possibly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere in that time frame, maybe we'll see another uptick in severe storms for the Central Plains. But for the most part, just low-end daily severe thunderstorm risks, something to keep us a little bit busy, but not get too overwhelmed like we were pretty much the entire month of May. We'll be slowly, ramping back up as hurricane season is expected to kind of kick in later on, more so towards the end of this month and early into July. That's when things should be ramping up a little bit. For our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, above average precip expected for the northern U.S., drier than average for the Four Corners region, along with the Northeast. Gulf Coast expected to be wetter than average, with some tropical systems possibly moving onshore in that time frame. They're weaker tropical systems, but just kind of a precursor of what's to come for this upcoming hurricane season. Those ocean temperatures are extremely warm right now, so they are providing those systems with plenty of energy. For our temperature outlook, that 6 to 10 day time frame, the eastern or southeastern 2/3 of the U.S. Pretty much all expected to be above average, so that warmth isn't going anywhere. The fuel for those storms isn't going anywhere. That's why we have those daily severe thunderstorm risks going forward. For the time being, below average temperatures expected for the northwestern U.S. there. That's when that system is expected to move onshore, cool things down up there, possibly swing down into the Central Plains and give us some more severe weather there. So we'll be looking out for that. But for now, we'll be just staying busy with those daily severe thunderstorm risks. If you're interested in learning more about us, go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. If you're interested in purchasing a plan, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me, or you can give us a call at 855-334-4245, email us at info@hailtrace.com, or check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness. Thanks for watching.